Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be for the rest of 2025, whatever's left when you watch it. And I'm doing kind of like another one of those deep readings that I did a couple weeks ago. And so there are going to be different questions for each row. And I will tell you what those are as we go through it. For your first row, which is going to represent what you need to hear right now, you have this Strength and Resourcefulness card and this Stability and Growth card. I don't know, you're at least the second person to get like the same cards. If you don't know, I shuffle all these cards on the side in between readings. I just don't do it on camera because I just don't think people need to watch me shuffle 4 decks on camera, 5 with this, plus 6 with that, right? So I do shuffle. And, again, it's pretty interesting. It always surprises me when cards repeat in the Oracle cards because, the chances of that happening are pretty low, right? And so definitely is a good time to focus on stability and growth. Now, there's something I want to say to you, Taurus, which I think that you need to think about the difference of value is popping into my head. It's like most people think that they need to create value, right? As in to make money, is what I'm talking about here or something like that. And, this is what's popping into my head in this first row so far is that, most people think they need to do something to create it, like work, right? But it's like, what if you have the value already? It's like, what if you are the valuable thing here, Taurus, right? And what if you don't have to necessarily work for money? And I'm not saying that you're not going to have to do something, that's not what I'm getting at here. But it's like, it's almost like this is saying that you already have what you need to create a lot of value, inside yourself. Or, one thing I will say is that a lot of your readings, basically, sorry, I have to move these around so they can fit. A lot of your readings talk about this heart-based energy, right, Taurus? And so it's like all you have to bring is is enjoyment. I think that we are entering into a heart-based time where if we actually do more of what we love, then we will become very successful. And, I think that the hard part of Neptune and Pisces especially, and again, I talk about this all the time, is that it's like our dream or what we actually want to do might not make sense. It's like maybe you want to be able to collect peanut butter jars for a living. It's like, how the hell could that actually, provide you with a living? But I don't know. I just watched a guy on YouTube who has a crazy YouTube channel where he reviews canned fish. If that's possible, then I think that whatever you think your crazy ass idea is could totally possibly be a passion-based something that makes you money or whatever. And I think you need to think about it. I don't know. It's popping into my head. Again, if there's a guy who can just literally review canned fish and have an extremely successful channel and probably makes plenty of money, I think you could do the same. Even if you're into peanut butter, I don't care what it is. You have the Hermit, the Three of Pentacles, and the Two of Cups here. I think you need to reveal something to the world. Maybe it's your passion for peanut butter. I'm on an elimination diet right now, so people are worried about the rapid weight loss, but I'm on this elimination diet. That's why it is. I'm eating nothing, just so everybody knows. And and I'm fine, by the way. There's nothing. Actually, I have plenty of issues, but again, I'm doing it for a reason. So there's no need to worry. There's no need to be concerned here, people. But I'm not going to shrivel away to nothing. Don't worry. But what I would say is that, I don't know, I got distracted by the peanut butter. But, again, I think you need to shine your passions out into the world. And also, the Hermit, one thing I want to say about the Hermit right now, especially before this eclipse that we're having, that will be in Virgo next month in September. I'm recording this video on August 16th. So it'll be, the 21st or whatever it is, or the 20 whatever, for Virgo, the Virgo eclipse next month, the 21st in September. And, I think there is something about people needing to kind of reveal something to the world, maybe their passion for peanut butter, their passion for whatever, and, get it out there, right? And that's what I would do with that Hermit is it's like you're lighting your passion on fire in a good way. You're lighting it up. It's like I see this, imagine, you ever see one of those signs that they light on fire on purpose where it's letters and they light it on fire? I don't know. I feel like I'm losing my mind today with this. But again, that's what I'm seeing. It's like you're bringing attention to your passion. You have the Three of Pentacles, bringing attention to what you do well. And so maybe you do need to kind of have a little bit of a fire show here, right? Fireworks. Maybe you need to light something on fire because everybody loves fire. It's pretty cool. right? But it's almost like you are putting on a show. That's like what I feel popping into my head. And I have a feeling this will make more sense in a second, right? But it's like there are people, this reminds me of? I remember there's a website in Canada. It's called Ling's Cars, right? And actually, she changed her website. It's not like it used to be, unfortunately. I don't know why, but whatever. But she had this crazy website with just like crazy things going on and everything like that. And she had a very successful car business because it's like she was a little bit eccentric, a little bit above and beyond. There was a show that was being put on. And, I think that would be good for you here, Taurus. Like, if you have a business or career or somewhere where you're trying to stand out, again, there's a big difference between, like, being fake. It's like people can put on a show and people can tell when it's fake, right? The reason that Ling's Cars did very well is because the lady was very genuine. Like, that website was her personality, right? And so I think you're going to have to think about that, but there's definitely, I'm getting these messages here in this first row about like your passion coming through, just like the guy who eats fish. It's like, it's something he's passionate about, as silly as it may sound. It's like his passion bleeds through, and that's why he's probably very successful, right? And so I think that is kind of going on here. It's like maybe you're learning how to put yourself out there. Maybe you're learning how to, put yourself on display. I don't know. I think it would be good for you. You have the Two of Cups. I do feel for those of you that want love, you've been getting love in your readings recently with me here, Taurus. You've also been showing up in Virgo's reading, and you start with the Virgo, and you've been showing up in Capricorn's reading as well, and you also have the Devil here. You also have a water sign here. You also have Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo with the World, and Capricorn with the World as well. So if you're looking for love, definitely could be one of those signs that I mentioned coming in. And I really don't have much to add there. I think that there could be a strong connection if you want it. There are some good love cards here, so it looks pretty good. With the Hermit, you have the Chariot and the Strength card. Yes, you're going to have to take control to shine your inner light and to put something out into the world. You're going to have to make it happen. The Strength card is also a display of strength. So again, putting things on display, showing off, having the strength. You have that strength and resourcefulness card. It's like you're going to have to be resourceful as well to make this happen. But, looks pretty good. With the Three of Pentacles, sure, we'll take both. Again, you have the High Priestess and the Five of Swords here. I think you need to trust your intuition more. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if you were having dreams of doing things that you're thinking about doing. It's kind of weird. It's like, sometimes I think usually we have dreams that are kind of random, right? But I wonder if you're like literally having dreams or you're about to. Again, today is August 16th, so this will be published on the 17th. So after the 17th, maybe you are... maybe what you're doing is it's like you're having dreams about like the work that you want to do in your life. And I think this is literally a message is what's popping into my head, as in it, like if that is happening to you, the universe is like saying, yes, go and do this. So I don't know why that's popping into my head, but I feel like those two cards, that's what it's saying. With the Two of Cups, you have the Six of Cups. It would be like a very sweet, kind, caring connection. I don't know, it's kind of like weird. The readings for love have been like 50-50, where it's like some people seem to be more attracting like something like this. Six of Cups would be like childlike, playful, fun, sweet, kind, caring, all that other stuff. Other people, it seems more, I don't know, aggressive or something. Not that that's a bad thing, I think either way it's good, but, it just seems like people are attracting different things. But definitely could be a soulmate. Six of Cups can be a soulmate. Next, we're going to look at what you are outgrowing at this time. You have this Challenges card, which is great. This Silent Wisdom card, which is also great. Hermit. Again, you cannot make that up because Hermit, Three of Pentacles. It's like it no longer is your wisdom going to be trapped inside of you. It's like I think this is what you're outgrowing, the need to hold on to things and not let them out. I also think you're clearly letting go of challenges with that Challenges card. This is what you are outgrowing at this time. Usually we do outgrow a challenge. That's usually how we overcome it, is that we learn something. You have the Six of Swords, the Magician, and the King of Cups. I think you're moving on to calmer shores. I think also that you and a couple other signs seem to me like you're letting go of the need to struggle. Like I said, there's a difference between like feeling like you have to do things to create value and just being value. That's the big difference that popped into my head. That I don't even know what that means, Taurus. But that's like the first thing that popped into my head in the beginning of your reading. It's like there's a difference between those two things. And if you could realize the difference between those two things, then I think you would be releasing the struggle, which is exactly what you should be doing probably, is, there is no need to struggle. There is no need for things to be hard. But again, sometimes I think we have to choose to not have a struggle. It's like we have to be the ones to say, like, I'm not going to struggle anymore, but again, like I just said, sometimes I think we have to claim it. We have to say, okay, I'm not going to struggle anymore, and then we have to do things so that we don't struggle anymore, right? And that's what I would do here. You have the Magician. The Magician can represent a new beginning, especially because you have the Chariot in the world that he is pointing to. So this isn't always true, but sometimes I feel like the Magician says you need to have a new beginning. We go Fool, Magician in the Major Arcana. And, normally the Fool is like needing to have a fresh start or new beginning. But sometimes I think the Magician is actually the card where it's like maybe the Fool gets to the Magician and he hesitates a little bit and he's like saying, which tool do I need to use for the job? Which tool should I get started with? He also has to change himself, right? You have this snake wrapped around his waist right here, which is the Ouroboros, which represents reinvention. I would definitely say that one of the quickest ways to become successful moving forward between now and 2033, or somewhere around there, is to like really think about image, like how you appear, right, in whatever it is that you do. And it's like, in your next row, you have this courage card. Do you need to appear more courageous? And I hate when people say fake it till you make it. I'm not a big fan of fake it till you make it energy because I don't think we need to. I think we can just be the thing that we want to be. I say this to you all the time, Taurus. And, I think that's like one of the best things that you could do over the next, many years is don't fake it till you make it. Just be the thing that you want to be. Be courageous. Be bold. Do the things, do the things that you wouldn't normally do. Do the things that you've stopped yourself from doing, And I think if you do that, you'll probably literally manifest a new reality with that world card. So, there you go. You have the King of Cups. Yeah, I think we all need to be careful of emotions at this time. Again, this does not mean that we shouldn't have emotions. It just means that we need to make sure that we are not drowning in our emotions. We need to make sure that we're stabilizing our emotions. We also need to make sure that we're not making too big of a deal out of things. Again, we are definitely... one thing about I feel about, especially Neptune and Aries. Neptune is going to retrograde back into Pisces this year, but next year in January, towards the end of January, it moves back into Aries. But, that energy is kind of like there's an element of like the sky is falling type of energy, as in, people could come and tell you things, especially other people, that aren't true. It's like people could tell you like, oh, everybody's going to get fired at work, or, this is going to happen, or that's going to happen, but it might not be true. And I just see how, especially next year, that, people could get dragged down these like whirlpools of emotions that aren't true. And then you lose like 3 months of your life because you just worried about something for 3 months for no reason, right? And so I'm not saying that we shouldn't pay attention, but what I am saying is we should look at the evidence, right? We should say, like, we should look and say, it's not that maybe people are lying, but we should just look and say, does this person have the facts? And what are the facts, right? Get to the facts. With the Six of Swords, you have the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, anything that, again, there's something about value here. Five of Pentacles is feeling left out in the cold, but, the Five of Pentacles says do not call attention to your weaknesses. You have to double down on your strengths, and that's what I would focus on with the Five of Pentacles. With the Magician, you have the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is like a dream. And, again, I think you could be manifesting a dream reality at this time. But again, if this is going to require work, you're going to have to do things you've never done before, match the energy, all that I said with the Magician. You're going to have to look at different tools. I would also say Uranus and Gemini. With Uranus and Gemini, we have to look at something from all angles, right? And, from every single perspective. Pluto in Aquarius says trust the evidence as well. This is Chris's crappy astrology here. But again, I'm just putting the pieces of the puzzle together for you here, Taurus. Again, I think two things that will be superpowers for people if they work with the energy is not just assuming something is going to work one way. Looking at it all the way around, right? And looking at all different things that you could learn about things that you're trying to accomplish in different perspectives. So that's like, one thing. And then, again, trusting in the evidence. If you can do that, then you will manifest a good new reality into your life. With the King of Cups, yes, you have the Seven of Swords. Again, like I said, don't get sucked into something. Also, Seven of Swords, he is going to war, but in a different way. Again, we are in a time, I said this in the yearly readings, I believe 2025 and also next year, 2026, is going to be a year where we really, really need to, find the best way to do things, or we need to practice efficiency. Seven of Swords, instead of going to war, he's stealing those swords from this army. So anything you're trying to do, is there a better way? And that's what I would pay attention to. The other thing I would pay attention to is liars. Personally, I like the Seven of Swords. Again, I don't care what anyone says. Golden cards in the tarot are meant to be positive no matter what. That's how tarot works. Sorry. And but what I would say is, again, I consider myself a holistic reader. I look at all the connections, everything that's going on. And we have the Devil, the Magician, and then we go up to the Ace of Cups. So again, I would be careful of any past people specifically. In love, with this energy, that's what's popping into my head. I definitely do not like this combination. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. To me, Magician, Devil, and the Seven of Swords is definitely trickster energy. A person who is tricky, a person who has ulterior motives, a person who is just, maybe has a lot of traumas and things like that where they drag other people into the mess as well, which is what you have to be careful of, right? And so I think you'll feel this, right? If you meet a person like this. Again, I would also say new love. The reading is pushing towards new love. So I'm wondering if this is a past person, but we'll find out. We'll keep clarifying the reading. Next, we're going to look at what's one move that you could make that would change everything for you right now. I think we've already kind of talked about it with the Magician, the Ten of Cups, and the World. But you have this Metamorphosis card. It says your inner self is being renewed day by day. So new and better ways can come forth. There you go. You have this Courage card. It says boost your courage so you can put yourself out there in a bigger way. So courage would be the thing, right? Being more bold, courageous, brave, putting yourself out there, taking bigger, risks with the Five of Swords at the beginning of your reading. But I think this is like taking the risk on your intuition. Part of me feels that your intuition is telling you what to do. Like, you maybe intuitively, even if you're saying you don't know what to do, you actually do. And I think, taking the risk on the intuition could be the thing that makes you very successful. You have the Five of Cups, the Devil, in the World. The Five of Cups can represent letting go of past disappointments and turning around and seeing these two cups so that you can get this bridge and this castle over here. I also, I get this overcomplication energy here, Taurus. Specifically, I feel like some of you, I feel like I'm talking to some of you that are doing, online projects. If you're working on, an online business or something like that. It's I feel like you're making things more complicated than it needs to be. It's simplification, like I said on that Seven of Swords, should be the answer. And it's maybe, you're going to have to probably do some research to figure out how to do that, but that's what I would really focus on. I also feel like this toxic person here could be just a past person that some of you are still holding on to. So if you're still holding on to a person, I would just be careful of that. It could be any sign. I think you know who this is what I would say. I also think this person, here would be the Devil, and we have the Five of Pentacles. It's this would be something where you feel small with the person, or they make you feel limited, or, something like that. So, I kind of feel this is a person you already know. I would definitely be careful of that. I also feel like for some of you, this is not a person. I feel like this is just a thing. I think this is, again, we're looking at what's one move you could make that would change everything for you right now in your life, right? And so, if there are any energy vampires, or if there's anything that's stealing your energy or slowing you down, I think eliminating those things will probably speed you up and, make things faster for you here, Taurus. You have the World. Again, I think you're creating a new reality for yourself, really, is what I feel on this World energy in some way with that Magician card. Now, but again, I think this isn't maybe not one move, actually. This might be several moves that you're making. It's you literally, what's popping into my head with that Magician is you could literally be dressing differently, boosting your courage with that Leo card, and, speaking differently and things like that. You could be making a lot of personal changes so that you can fit into a new world. And again, I don't think this is a bad thing at all. I think this is a good thing. And, one thing I would also I want to warn people people about over the next many years. Again, if you think it's bad now, I don't know if you've noticed, but like on the internet, anytime someone changes, everybody's like, well, you used to believe this. You're not allowed to change. It's like we're not allowed to change our mind about things, right? Which is absolutely ridiculous. And so that is going to get worse, I think, over the next several years, where it's like, if you change your mind about something, people are going to have something to say about it, but you just have to ignore it, right? Plain and simple. Again, there is no argument right now. We don't need to have arguments, right? Because our results should speak for themselves, and that's it. Plain and simple. And so there's nothing that we need to say. And I think you just need to remember that. But again, I would also say, like, if there is, adopting new beliefs, new ideas, things like that. Again, you're not like becoming a different person. It's not like you're a psychopath or something here, right? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about just, enhancing traits that you already have and, becoming more courageous and bold and, all that other stuff. With the Five of Cups, you have the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, I think that it's a very busy time. I think people are going to get busy over the next year, but make sure you're balancing that energy out. With the Devil, here you go. You have the Empress, which is pretty good. The Empress is you coming out on top, and, the Empress is Taurus, which kind of puts you in a position of power and strength. The other thing is that this could say that, maybe the other problem kind of here is that maybe you are attracting a lot of people at this time. Maybe you're very attractive at this time. And I feel like the Empress is just saying, hey, like, there might be some people that are toxic that you should avoid and pay attention to and not entertain, right? But ultimately having the Empress here is very good. With the World, you have the Eight of Wands. Yes, your words. Every single reading I do for you, I'm pretty sure, Taurus, we talk about your words being important. So whatever this new reality is as well, that I would make sure the words that you're using are also, kind of in alignment with what you want. You have to speak this into existence. Next, we're going to look at what blessings are coming in for you. You have this expecting card. It says potential, beginnings. Can't make that up. Nurture and duty. You have this Earth card. It says stability, fertility, balance, and nurture. Yes, if you are not trying to get pregnant, I would definitely be careful because these are like two pregnancy cards, right? If you are, then go for it. You also have the Empress. You have the Ten of Cups. You have the Six of Cups, right? Twice. So, again, if you're trying to get pregnant, I guess go for it. But if you're not, you could just be pregnant with ideas, of course, or you could be pregnant with something that you want to work on. Now, with the Ace of Cups, you have the Ace of Cups, Eight of Swords, Nine of Wands. We have the Four of Wands right next to it. This could be love, but again, this could just be you committing to what you love. If you are pregnant with a new idea for the new reality that you are trying to birth, the World is a birth card. We have this sorceress in the middle of the world. She is crossing through that portal, that threshold that's in the middle of a card. She's going to the other side, right? She's being reborn. So, I think for a lot of you, this is saying that you need to commit to this, new birth, this new reality that you are birthing. And I think that's probably what will make your emotions overflow in the affirmative, in the positive with the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups is a very good card. So, I don't know. I kind of like this for you. Definitely could be love. We have a ton of love here. And again, if you don't want love, this would just be a thing that you do love, like a hobby, a interest, something like that. You have the Eight of Swords. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff about setting yourself free in this reading as well, like with the Six of Swords, for example. So a lot of you could be setting yourselves free from things that have been holding you back for a long time. And yeah, obviously that would be a good thing. And, again, this row is going to represent what blessings are coming in for you. So, again, the Eight of Swords would be setting yourself free from something that's been stuck, which could be the Devil. You have the Nine of Wands. I'm also pretty happy to see the Nine of Wands because of the Devil with the Magician and the Seven of Swords. Nine of Wands would say that the blessing is that you've put boundaries up against anything that is a devil, right? So, a lot of you might already have these boundaries in place, which could be a blessing. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is about being bold, being assertive, really going for what you want. I think that would be, it's kind of like a blessing, but I also feel it always comes up for you, Taurus. Like every single reading, I'm pretty sure you get this. And, she really needs to move towards the sun. This could also be saying that the path is clear. It could be saying that your opportunity to accomplish great things is wide open. With the Eight of Swords, you have the Four of Cups. I think you have to let go of disappointments, past disappointments, but it's like a specific type of disappointment that's popping into my head here for you, Taurus, like where you try something and it doesn't work, like you've tried to be successful. But I also feel like you follow instructions as well, which is kind of funny. It's kind of like popping into my head that you follow instructions. on doing something like in work or business or career or whatever you're doing. And it's like those instructions don't work. And that can be very disappointing when you're like, I'm doing what I was told to do, but it's not working. I also feel like you have to release that. Like you are releasing that. I think things can work for you now. It's like, maybe there was a reason for that in the past. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Nine of Cups. Really, I think the answer always for Taurus is Empress energy, right? And the Nine of Cups. But, in this case, I would say Empress energy. I think these two are connected, is what I'm trying to say in your reading. And, the Empress, she doesn't worry about anything. She doesn't worry about love. She doesn't worry about money. She doesn't worry about this, that, or the other thing. The only thing she controls and worries about is the only thing that she can control, the only thing any of us control, which is ourselves, right? That's the only thing that we can control. And so, I think practicing self-care, practicing self-love, like all those things, right? That's why, people ask me sometimes, like, why I don't really do love readings. And that's the reason why. And it's not that I don't do love readings, and it's not that I don't care. It's that I know, like, it's much, much better to focus on, making yourself the best, as cliche as it is. It really, I've proven it to myself many times in my life that, the more I just focus on what I can control, which is only me and myself, the better my life gets, right? And the better your life gets, if you keep going in that direction, the more you create positive snowballs, the more things get going in the right direction, and then you naturally attract love because you are the type of person that people will love, right? So again, it's like, I think we don't have to worry about any of that. I think we should just worry about ourselves. Next, we're going to look at what's going to happen for you in love. You have this visitor card. It says tourist or alien. You could literally be attracting an alien. You have this coyote. It says crazy wisdom. By the way, Pluto and Aquarius, if there was ever a time where we will see people marry people from other worlds, it would literally be right now. Pluto and Aquarius. If it's going to happen during Pluto and Aquarius, the next 20 years, right? The aliens will land and we'll all get married to aliens, right? So that would not freaking surprise me at all. Again, you have this coyote. It says crazy wisdom on it. Yeah, you could be attracted. That would be like a very smart person, right? Who's like an alien. So you could be marrying someone who's like very smart or from another world or whatever. There you go. Especially with the Four of Wands showing up here. You have the Four of Wands, Six of Cups, and the Eight of Cups. Four of Wands can be marriage, like I said. But I also feel like you're committing to something here, Taurus, like yourself or your own ideas or something. So I would commit to that Ace of Cups energy just in general. You have the Six of Cups, which can be a turnaround. It can also be a soulmate, which I do think, obviously, we've talked about it enough. Could be a soulmate here. The Six of Cups can be a gift from the universe, and it can represent kind of like experiencing a turnaround or overcoming an obstacle, which I also think could be happening for you. You have the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups can be walking away from things that no longer serve you. And so I think a lot of you could just be walking away from things that no longer serve you with the Eight of Cups. Anything that's like slowing you down, getting in your way, preventing you from finding success. I think those are the things that you are removing at this time. This is the only card in the tarot that has an eclipse on it. And so I would not be surprised if you are looking for love, if something happens around the time of the eclipses, September 7th or September 21st, like somewhere, around Pisces eclipse on the 7th, Virgo eclipse on the 21st. So, any time next month, there definitely, could be a good time for love. With the Four of Wands, yes, you have the Ace of Swords, which would be a victory in love. So if you want love, again, could be a big victory or success coming in for you with a person. With the Six of Cups, you have the Ace of Cups again. Yes, very childlike connection. Yeah, like I said, I don't know. Looks very good for love. I would be careful of any past toxic people just in general, but, definitely this would be something that makes you very happy with that Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups is a card of, like, happiness. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Knight of Wands. Yeah, it could be a very adventurous person. Definitely could be someone who, like, this card says tourist on it. So, if you're traveling, or it could be a person who's traveling to where you live, something like that. But again, obviously, if that's happening, you're not going to meet this person sitting on your couch eating bonbons, right? So you have to get out into public to, so people can see you with their eyeballs, believe it or not. And, that could be where this person comes from. But pretty interesting reading, Taurus. I do like this a lot. I don't know. I just feel good about it for some reason. It is good. I mean, it's pretty good, but, I feel extra good about it. So there you go. Thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.